Oh look, we're back, and it's the start of I call it the second half, the second chunk, the of tonight's stream, and that means it's time for the toast. And for that reason, I hand over to the beloved Ben.
So it's time to recount another of the stories I was once told by our former ship's steward. I can't verify the accuracy of these stories. After all, he once told me he invented the centrifuge, though he called it the Grey Hill Spinner. Once he told me he was employed on a liner, which is natural for a steward after all. The ship was, by all accounts, magnificent, brand new and luxurious beyond compare. Aboard, everyone was excited about the fact that the ship was destined to break a record for the speed of its transit, and the passengers were the best sort of passengers, good tippers. Inevitably, as Greyhill was on board, things didn't go flawlessly. In the middle of the journey, the ship was struck by a comet made of ice, and despite the best efforts of the crew, she couldn't maintain hull pressure. Some of the escape pods were damaged and unusable, and the call went out for those of courage and honour among the crew to give up their places so the passengers could be saved. Which is how Greyhill ended up safely aboard an escape pod, I imagine. Whenever the Baltic Star is in jeopardy, I remember our much missed steward, who, like all true survivors, made it through countless situations that would have ended any lesser or more courageous man. It is therefore with a small amount of irony that I ask you to raise a glass with me to the memory of the late, great Greyhill Bast.
To the late, great.
The late
Greyhill Bast.
Greyhill Bast. Oh. I mixed a white Russian just for him.
A good plan. Okay, so you've moved out to a sort of a safe distance, shall we say? And Linto Sard is indeed brought down to join the rest of you down by the airlock, and he's patched up but hurt.
Gerg, thank you. You can go, mate. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I think the bar's open. Bar's always open.
Oh, definitely going to be time for a drink.
And I don't know if when things were stressful, because I know for a while we had Sammy was here, and I believe was Rick down here
Rick
as well.
was there.
I'd like to. I've let Rose know that all of Agnar's best booze is on tonight. So if you head up, she'll sort you guys out. Spot on. Agnar, too late. You weren't here for that conversation. Please, guys, go. Please have a great time. Thank you so much. You were front line when things were proper hairy for a while, and I'm not talking Agnar hairy. I'm talking proper hairy.
They give their various nods and disappear off with a smile and a bit of a sort of hand on each other's shoulders.
Oh, they've been through it, those guys. So I assume that leaves Cara, Stefan, Agnar, Zoe.
Mm-hmm. And now Linto, and of course you've still got your other guest.
Snavik, yeah. Well, this is difficult. We said that we'd give Stavek safe passage, didn't we? Didn't we, Agnar?
Oh, we did, yeah. I think also there was an agreement to leave them somewhere floating in space with like a beacon or something, so that they could be picked up.
That was the was that 2 plans? I lose how many plans ago that was. 2, 3 plans ago?
Yeah, we made a lot of promises. To be fair,
we make a lot of promises. Linto. In front of a woman who told us, in honesty, that she was Polina. Why don't you tell us what Polina was, what she did, what she stood for, and what fear she spread down on Darkmoon?
This is Polina. When people in the lower deck levels got in trouble, they caused too much fuss or whatever. Sometimes they just wouldn't come back from their shift. And then maybe a few hours or a few days later, you'd find them stuffed in some storage area for the kelp or a maintenance locker of some kind, horribly mangled and very dead. And yeah, it was the Wanderers and it was Polina. And this is Polina. And she sort of looks at him and says, "Not anymore."
Well, you see, to you, Linto, we made a promise. My friend Stefan and I, she sort of throws an arm over Stefan's shoulders, that you saw us through, you helped us, you let us onto your ship, you let us ruin, basically, but at least one, if not more, Bathys, wreck the ship, and but you let us on. You sort of followed what we were doing, and we said we'd get you off, yeah, and we got you safe. We've done that, haven't we? And I
Yeah.
think we almost let you down by inadvertently letting this Polina on board who tried to kill you. And
Agnar,
yeah, inadvertently let Polina on.
Inadvertently.
Is there anything you want to say to her? Any last thing you want to say to her?
I don't even really want to look at her.
Agnar, why don't you take Linto? Do you know the super best whiskey you've got, like the top quality stuff, man? You know, general high class, the stuff for like the best people we've got.
the general whiskey.
The general whiskey,
He
you know,
salutes.
the destroyer of worlds whiskies.
You know, given the circumstances and in light of recent events, I thought that perhaps your offer of opening up my finest collection for an evening, minus one or two bottles, of course, would be a good idea. Linto, have you? I don't suppose you've had whiskey for some time.
You're not wrong.
Well, my friend, this is going to be a treat. He'll lead him upstairs.
Yep. That's fine.
Before he goes, he'll just give Kara a knowing nod of thanks and gratitude.
Now, Linto's a good man. Agnar's a military man. I'm just an artist, Polina. But I think one of myself, Stefan, or Zoe can carry this with them. She sort of taps the airlock button. You're a nasty piece of work, to be honest. You tried to kill members of our crew. You butchered people down on our planet. And yeah, we promised you, but it was a different promise to the promise we gave Linto Sard. And our promise to him nearly killed him. She looks to Stefan. She's sort of willing to do it, but she looks to Stefan and Zoe to see if anyone's super keen, I guess, in this moment.
Zoe will literally stride straight across to the airlock controls.
Stefan will wheel the stretcher into the airlock.
Cara
And they leave.
will turn and walk.
Just
Cara will turn and walk.
yeah.
Cara will turn and walk. Yeah, they leave. Cara will turn and head up for a drink.
Okay. Stefan?
He will exit the airlock. He'll look over to Zoe.
She punches the control to close the inner door.
If you wanna leave, feel free.
She nods and says, "Her first," and pushes the button to open the outer lock. And you hear it, flush itself. And then she pushes the button to close it again. She doesn't look at the window or anything throughout the whole process.
Stefan will nod. Kind of. I think that makes it time for a drink. I'm sorry you didn't get to point at the knife.
I'm gonna find Cat.
Good idea. If you need anything up there, just give us a shout. We can bring stuff to you. But I think Kat's probably going to have a bit of piloting to do. If she's all right to do it, I'm sure she is.
She'll be fine.
Yeah. But if you want a drink, give us a shout. We'll get someone to run it out.
And
Thanks,
she wanders off, seemingly without a care in the world.
Stefan will look around. Give it a few minutes just so that he's not awkwardly heading up to the same lift.
Oh, the same lift. Standing in that lift in silence.
The same lift. Just look around and nod and suck his teeth a bit, and then he'll head up towards Bass Bar.
All right. So, do you guys have anything else you intend to do in system? Are you going to be paying attention to what's happening on the planet, or are you just going to think, now let's let it finish up however it finishes up?
Well, the most important thing in system that Agner wants to do is take the two. He's not greedy. He'll take the two best bottles of whiskey out of his collection, and he'll make sure nobody's watching, obviously, for his secret hiding stash, especially Cara. And then he will take the rest to Bass Bar.
Okay.
Which is a considerable amount, so he's hoping there'll be some leftovers. I believe we got he had a reasonable couple of cases.
Oh, he has a fair amount in his collection.
Well, everybody, it's been an eventful time here, and I think it should all be known that we are truly grateful for everything you do for us and the Baltic Star. And this is by no means the extent of what you've done for us, but this is some way of immediate gratitude for everything you've done. I'll just take a step back and place it on the table.
It almost makes it to the table, but on the way down, Gerald Kaggs catches it and says, "Oh, good stuff."
For sharing, Gags. For sharing.
All booze is for sharing. And he begins, doling it out in generous measure to everybody who's around. The only people not present are your two engineers who are still poking around in engineering, and Kat and Zoe, who are on the bridge.
Cara, how can I say?
Yeah.
You're an artistic type. Why don't you take a nice photo of all of the different bottles and send it out to the engineering crew and Kat and Zoe and see if they want anything. Make it look good.
I'll tell you what. Why don't I step back a bit further and get a shot with everyone here behind them, raising a glass and drinking? Yeah.
Bit of rubbing their noses in it, or temptation them to come and join us. I'm not sure what you're going for here.
I've got a really nice border that I can build around it. I wish you were here border.
Okay. Yeah. Do that. Maybe let them know that it's an open invitation. Plus, come up with some nicer way to say the words that I said, that we're really thankful for everyone, and throw some philosophy in there or something.
Cara gets behind the camera, sort of squidges people in a bit. Says, "Okay, everyone, say can't."
Can't.
I shall snap a picture of everyone that's up there. Like I say, the "Wish You Were Here" banner, and sends it to the rest of the crew. And as she does it, she will send that also to Tally.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. Tally responds immediately saying, "We're staying on the space station for a little bit. Apparently things are a bit unsettled in the city."
I hope you and I messages back. I hope between us we chose wisely in the long run. Stay safe. I hope any news I hear in the future is good news.
Me too.
And Cara will shut down the phone and slip it into her pocket, grab a expensive whiskey. She's not a whiskey drinker, but she will if Agnar's offering it. Grabs a whiskey and she slaps Kaggs on the back, half spilling some of the whiskey he's got, and starts sort of joking with him a little bit.
You get a call in from in a few moments from Kat saying, "So, we making the jump, or we sticking here?"
Cara looks to Stefan. Stefan, you want to go back for the squid, or we heading off, man? Off to Natty?
Stefano look at his watch and estimate how long it's been since since Zoe opened up the airlock. Let's check it's been, 5 minutes. Whatever is more than long enough.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. Kat says, "All right." And After a few moments, you can start to hear the engines wind up, and as they begin to make their jump, the two engineers walk into the bridge. Um, um, because they don't need to be in engineering fixing things while you're actually jumping, and uh, and the ship very rapidly accelerates and makes its jump off towards Nadi, and that's where we'll call it for tonight.
Oh,
Very good timing.
that's very good. Ah, just like Sam Beckett. We are the Sam Beckett of the Traveller universe.
Exactly like that,
Oh
you know,
boy.
except for many things.
Just
You know, we do what we do offer that Sam Beckett doesn't offer, and that's our Rose's cat.
I would play a Quantum Leap Rose's Cat crossover TTRPG, obviously,
Oh God.
because it would have to be, wouldn't it?
The cat jumps into different beings.
Oh,
Yes, definitely.
It's wheels within
That-
wheels.
That I'm sure would work. Right, Rose's cat. Okay. Um, Rose's cat, Caboodle, was equally happy exploring the Baltic Star on foot or carried by a member of the crew. The walk from the crew quarters in the middle of the vessel to the bridge was a short one, and the kitten travelled backwards, in the sense that she was carried pressed against Cat Aralesti's shoulder, looking back over the top. When the pilot got to the bridge, she sat heavily in her usual chair and set about prying the furry passenger from her chest. I should say, set about attempting to do so. The tiny cat had slowly become aware that the ship was not quite the familiar place she normally patrolled. For one thing, she was being prevented from her usual explorations. She'd been carried from room to room and the doors then closed. On a normal day, she could go and find someone to play with, someone to irritate, or in the case of Dural Cag, someone to sleep on, because even when he was awake, he tended to have heroic levels of sedentary lifestyle. There were also unfamiliar people, unfamiliar sounds, and unfamiliar smells, probably thanks to Rose having been tasked with assembling a three-course meal. For a small cat, that meant clinging on to the most familiar things she could find. In this case, a big cat, if you'll forgive the pun. As the human tried to gently remove the kitten, she only elicited tiny growls of protest. Eventually, she gave up. As long as the animal stayed firmly attached, she wouldn't technically be in the way. She fired up the ship's systems in case a quick exit was required and began idly stroking her furry parasite. It was a while before she received instructions to undock and fly the ship away, something that actually proved much more of a challenge than she'd anticipated. This, I must be clear, was not the cat's fault. The pilot rapidly discovered that the Baltic Star was locked to the space station, unable to undock. She reported this to the crew and sat back, carefully checking for damage, engine function, life support problems, and anything else that might add useful information to the decisions the other crew had to make. As she did, finally, Caboodle relaxed a little and gently crept down into Aralesti's lap. The pilot was a little tense, her muscles flexing under her suit, so Caboodle dropped to the deck and began to patrol. She hopped up onto the main engineering console because it was flat, warm, glowing, and was an ideal place to stretch out and roll around. The chief engineer, Rachel Axis, had been here recently because it had been wiped clean, something Axis did automatically when she left any station. Caboodle decided to help by rubbing her fur over the surface, naturally. When the pilot next had communication with the rest of the ship, Caboodle decided to enter surprise mode. It was generally a lot of fun to leap onto a person when they were otherwise occupied. Zoe had called in to make sure Aralesti was recovering, and the pilot became more serious, quiet, and careful in her tone. It was Caboodle's chance. She crouched, twitched her tail, and sprang for the unsuspecting lap. The surprise wasn't as intended, however, as the teenage human caught the kitten in midair. Caboodle let out a startled squeak and hung in the hand, legs dangling. Aralesti finished her call and turned a fond smile on the little cat. Nice try, Caboodle, but when I'm in this seat, my reactions are a critical ship system. The kitten purred happily at her, but was already plotting her next attack even as she purred. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Very nice.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Spez. And,
Speaking about plotting, Luke,
yes.
what are we plotting for tomorrow?
We're it's the summer of love. I'm gonna bring the graphic up. Hang on.
Yes,
I've-
graphic for the summer of love.
let
It's
me
important.
let me summer of love the graphic. Hang on, image. We'll call it summer. There we go. That's it. Summer. Then we'll hang on. I should be able to find it quite easy because I think the last thing I was on was that folder. There we are. Summer of love. There it is. The summer of love. The summer of love started today, but it's been a couple of years since we've done the summer of love, and this summer of love, taking part over August, is special because there's going to be 6 one-shots, and all 6 of them have a very specific rule, and that is they are 2 hours long in total. So what will happen is, starting tomorrow, we will start the stream with a 5-minute countdown as always, but all the information will be on the countdown, the intro, the character, like who the characters are and so on. There'll be no introduction, and we will launch straight into the game. There'll be a countdown, which I need to work out. There'll be a countdown of 2 hours, and at the end of 2 hours, the stream will stop. It's going to be an interesting thing for the 3 of us who are historically very slow at running things, especially Ewan and I. Ben is better at running to time.
It's going to be a challenge.
Especially with some of the people we've got playing with us who have been known to engage fully in the role playing. Thank goodness.
Indulge, I would say.
Oh, good use of indulge. Our first indulgent, of course, is Sock Fiddler tomorrow, who is a big fan of the subject. I'd say she's a big fan of half the subject matter, not so much of the other half. And the truth is out. The person running the very first game is going to be Ewan. So why don't you tell us about it briefly, Ewan, for tomorrow?
Yeah, sure. Tomorrow we'll be running through. Other important footnote is that we've created all of these just off the bat. There is no published material, right? We're running with things that we have come up with. So tomorrow we are taking Sock Fiddler through a game that I'm calling in Nomine Pop, the Road to Eurovision. The year is 2026, and the Vatican City are launching their first entry into the madness that is the Eurovision Song Contest. The players will be the band, and we'll see what happens. That's all I've got. I have no idea what's going to happen. Hopefully, it will fit within 2 hours. We'll see.
But it's going to. You've got no choice.
Well, that's the rules.
That's true. That is true.
It is. So there's going to be 6 of those. So if you can see on the graphic, we got Traveller most of the Fridays. One of the Fridays, Traveller's not happening. I'm away that weekend actually, so that's the 22nd, 23rd. But we've got Vatican City Eurovision. We've got Nighthawks, which is like an internal monologue game. We've got Campfire Stories. We've got a story about Schrodinger's cat. Jurassic Park Escape, and running a noodle bar with philosophy students and supermodels. So those are the 6 adventures. There are still some gaps. Spaces available if you wish to sign up on our Discord. So yes, Sock, Spez and Kelly are signed up to several ones between them. But there are gaps, so feel free to look into our Discord channel, Voice of the Baltic Star. And there are possibilities to sign up if you wish. We're going to be strict. It's going to be like 11 o'clock-ish. UK time. So done by 1 o'clock-ish UK time. So
yeah.
I know Kells goes on to something afterwards. So by being strict, it means that she can then move on quite happily to the next. So this is
the real beauty. Sorry.
No, please. No, the real beauty.
I know the real beauty.
You are the real beauty.
Is that it's a one shot. It's a guaranteed one shot. Whether you get the end of the story or not remains to be seen. But there's no commitment other than the date that is listed against the game that you may wish.
And the extent to which it's going to be a complete and finished story is completely up for grabs, and it may not even last 2 hours, of course. If you're trying to run it
True.
tight, it may come in a bit quicker. Who knows?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Ben's flexing.
He's like, I can do it an hour and a half. Like that.
But yes, it's true. It's true. It may.
So that is our summer of love to you, dear viewers. Hopefully it's a wonderful time. We're just doing our own thing again. We're not playing rule games. We're just making things up and role playing. It's what we like to do. So looking forward to it. But in order to look forward to it mostly, we all need to get our beauty sleep. And that's what we're going to do now, dear viewers. And I hope we see some of you tomorrow evening. And Crit, have a fantastic session. Spez, see you soon. Anyone else around? Thank you for joining us this evening. Take care, all, and hopefully we'll see some of you tomorrow night. Good night, guys. Have a lovely Saturday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Toodaloo.